Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast. We're going to be recording virtually today, just talking about the game yesterday against Djgarden that Chelsea won 4-1 away from home in Sweden, in Stockholm. God, I couldn't go, but sacrifices had to be made in order to book the flights to Poland. And it seems like we're going to be there. I mean, I don't think anyone would disagree with that. It was just a great result, guys. Great result.
Yeah, the tie's done now, basically. I like that Jackson said it wasn't, but from a fan's perspective, it's over now. And at least there's like one game we don't have to worry about. We can just focus on the Premier League games now till the end of the season. Yeah, all good. That was our best performance in the knockout stages.
I'm not getting nowhere near excited, man. I seen, obviously I couldn't watch it. There's always something coming up. I was in an FA hearing, so shout out to Staffordshire FA for the touchline ban. But yeah, I couldn't watch the game live. Watched a bit of the highlights. And the procedure, isn't it? When you look through their team and you can not figure out one player they've got, literally in the squad of how many they've got, I couldn't figure out one player which is going to be a threat to us. 4-1 is a realistic result. Obviously, you're going to be happy with the way he performed, and got to be happy that Jackson got himself a couple of goals. That's important for us. I feel like he needs to carry on now. Goal in the weekend, two goals in the weeks. The second goal was absolutely brilliant. Way he rolled it inside, left foot, bang, top bins. Wingers chipping in with goals, so it's good stuff. You've got to beat what's in front of you, but at the end of the day, you can't be excited. We've got massive tests coming up. Liverpool, Djgarden again, Newcastle away, Man U, Nottingham Forest. There's your test. This Europa Conference League is just a healthy distraction. We know what we need to do in the league. We know where we need to finish. So that's my only concern. We need to just focus on the important job coming up on Sunday.
We had a relatively mixed lineup. Some strong players, a fair amount of rotation as well. I mean, in terms of regular starters, you obviously had Cucurella, Fernandez, James in there, Madueke, and I guess you could potentially put Sancho in that bracket. But there was a bit of rotation as well. Josh Achimpong, Tosin, Badia Shield, Jorgensen in goal, and then you had Dewsbury Hall and Tyreek George as well. So I wouldn't go as far as there was a spine.
Wolves making his debut. Wolves making his debut. Not going to talk about that. Shout out
who making their debut?
Wolves.
Reggie Walsh.
Yeah. He came on towards the end of the game. He came on in the last sort of couple of minutes. But yeah, he's the youngest player to ever play for Chelsea. Is it in Europe or is it just in general?
In Europe.
He's beaten Dominic Solanke's record that he had before.
I think he was the third youngest debutant. I'm not sure who the first was.
Apparently, it was Dominic Solanke before, and then this kid's beating the record. I saw something about that this morning. But quote me on that if I'm wrong, guys. Let me know in the comments. But I mean, I think there was enough strength in there for us to say, okay, like we are taking it seriously, but also enough rotation to be like, we're not throwing the kitchen sink at this game. Do you know what I mean? We should be winning this game even without Fernandez on the pitch and Madueke and players like that. But I appreciate you want to get the job done. So I'm not. I wasn't.
I couldn't really see.
Yeah.
I couldn't really see why he started some of the main boys, especially with it being an artificial pitch. When I seen Reece James starting, I was very worried. Artificial grasses, it's known that you can roll your ankles and do your knee ligaments on it because of how hard the surface is. So for him to start James is a massive risk, but it paid off because obviously we haven't got any injuries. But very risky for him to start some of the main guys. But there's going to be some thought behind it. To obviously get the job done. That gives us a lot of space to manoeuvre next week, obviously at the bridge where we can probably start the likes of that youngster and other lads, Achimpong. We'll probably see a full under 21s team next week because the tie's done now, isn't it? So maybe that's the reason why he started some of the stronger players.
Yeah, I think. Honestly, I don't have any problems with it, mate. I don't have any problems. I thought I had a problem at the beginning of the game, and then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, to be fair, it's not a bad
Wants
thing.
to get the job done. Yeah,
well, 4-1 in the end, and with the rotation, like it's not like a lot of these guys played 90 minutes. You look at Cucurella come off for Chalobah in the 46th minute, James come off for Caicedo, Fernandez come off for Palmer, Madueke come off for Jackson, even George came off at the end as well. So the ones that really had the run out were Jorgensen, Badiashile, Tosin, Achimpong, Sancho, and Dewsbury Hall. And I don't think anyone really has any problems with that. I guess you could say, oh, maybe Sancho could have been rotated, but this could be a positive sign in the sense that Tyreek George gets minutes against Liverpool potentially. I know he'd come off late, but he's a young, fresh player. I wouldn't have any problem with him playing against Liverpool. And Arne Slot's come out as well and said that, of all of the teams that they played, Chelsea were the one that made them suffer the most. I've always said I was so proud after the performance against Anfield, even though we lost. I thought we looked sensational. I thought we looked great. Really deserved something out of that game. And now looking at it, I'd be very shocked if Liverpool aren't playing a strong side and we are. I'd be shocked if we didn't go for them and if they didn't have it in the back of their mind as well that Chelsea are a team that have challenged them before and can do the same thing. The only difference is now got to get points on top of that.
I have no doubt in my mind that Liverpool will start a strong squad at Stamford Bridge Sunday.
Now, Slot said he might make a few changes.
I think that's him basically with a bit of PR. The way I'm thinking, they're going to want to finish the season very strongly. I don't think they'll weaken. Yeah, they probably will make a couple of adjustments, but they won't completely weaken the squad. Like, for instance, when we won the league, Jose Mourinho, second season, we won it early, and we completely started weak players for the rest of the season and had a couple of bad performances. I just don't think that's going to happen with Liverpool. I feel like they'll want to finish the season strongly, especially coming up
I don't know.
against
Some of those players got to get to 5 appearances, get their medals.
Well, yeah. Well, that in mind as well, but I just can't see him coming and starting a week. And he's already said it. Chelsea have been one of the hardest opponents he's faced. So why would he come to the Bridge and start a fully weakened lineup? Doesn't make sense. So
yeah, but they've won the league. That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah. But you'll be just because you've won the league doesn't mean you take your foot off the gas and completely change your starting lineup and weaken your squad and get thumped.
No, but we're not saying that, Kev. We're just saying
you still want to win. If you've won the league, you still want to win. That a manager that has got that mentality will still put a strong team out.
Yeah, but there isn't that desperation. They've achieved what they wanted to achieve.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like we'll be surprised on Sunday. I feel like they will have a few big hitters there. I don't think they'll completely start like a under 21s weekend squad. So we still need to be prepared for what's going to be in front of us. And obviously, like I said, last season when we played them in the final, they had a weekend squad then, and what happened? We lost. So we cannot take Liverpool for granted. Whatever team they play, they'll always play the same way. So yeah, it's not going to be an easy game on Sunday.
Can I just say as well, with the artificial pitch, I thought we handled it so well, and you wouldn't have known in a lot of ways that there even was an artificial pitch watching it on the TV. I think the first 10 minutes or so, it was a little bit, there was a few touches where I thought, oh, maybe we're not quite so used to the service here, but I mean, no big mistakes, no key mistakes. I think Tosin did 1 or 2 rubbish passes, but actually I thought over the course of the 90, he was great, and he made a lot of passes where sort of cut through the midfield and went straight into Dewsbury Hall or Madueke or players right up the top end of the pitch. And that was important to see. I saw a lot of that from Tosin. When he has time on the ball, he seems to be a player who's more than capable of dictating things. It's just about moving the ball quickly. But I think actually we moved the ball at a decent pace. I wasn't bored watching that match. I thought this is actually a good performance. And this is the thing, when you look at a possession orientated style of football, it can look nice. I've got no doubt about that. But I think over the course of 2025, there's been more games where I've not been impressed with what I've seen than when I have. And another thing that was good to see as well is that we're able to keep it ticking without Lavia in the fold. Now, I know that Djgarden are nothing like any of the Premier League sides. There was a debate on TalkSport about whether they would finish lower than Southampton in the Premier League. I don't know, to be honest with you. I really haven't got a clue. Yeah. But I mean, they're not a great team. That's what we can say. But it was an intimidating atmosphere, and the players ultimately rose to the occasion and produced. We got the goal from Sancho. We got the goal from Madueke as well, who I thought was, I think there's a good shout for man of the match with Madueke, as well as maybe Tosin, Jackson scoring Enzo. 2 goals as well. Enzo was great. Yeah, Enzo was really good. I thought Reece James as well in the midfield. I thought he did a good job. Very creative. Made one or two.
Honestly, it was one of those games where I just don't think anybody played badly.
Yeah, got to agree with you on that one.
That's the best part about this performance. It was just, we usually play these games at 30% and then just sleep through the first half. This time we were good throughout the 90. I didn't have any complaints with our performance at any point in the match. It was a lot more professional, but with a lot more of the end product. Something we haven't really seen throughout the 90 minutes in this tournament yet.
Yeah, I do feel like just getting that first goal was sort of that we needed, that early goal, and we got it. And then we were in control, mate. And you could see that even Djgarden as well, after we scored, they couldn't really get into it. I mean, they got a goal in the second half off of, was it a set piece or something like that? They whipped the ball in. I can't remember off the top of it. There was a ball in and they headed it in. I think one of their teenagers scored. Bit disappointing not to get a clean sheet, but overridingly, I definitely agree that there's more positives than negatives in that game. I've got another question as well, boys. Just going back to Madueke, he scored a nice goal as well. Which side do you prefer him playing on? Because I thought he was fantastic on the right, and I thought he was really good on the left against Everton as well. And that was the first time I've seen him on the left. But if you look at what we would be able to build on consistently, you've got Neto, who's also versatile. You've got Sancho, who's versatile. I mean, who would you rather play in which position? Like, where do you say, these two wingers, I want them starting in this position week in, week out for Chelsea?
Honestly, I'm not too sure yet. But I think we need a few more games with Noni on the left to really get an idea. I've always wanted to see him play there, and I was impressed with his first game against Everton, but let's try him there again for another match. See if you can get a little bit more from that position too, because there's promise there, but for now it's just only promise.
I'd think Madueke on the left would be a lot more direct. I think sometimes on the right, he likes to chop in, chop out, and before you know it, he's at the byline and he hasn't got enough space to get the ball in. So I think with him on the left, you're looking at a more direct player because he's on his natural side, isn't he? He's got all the ability to beat a player, but I think sometimes he overdoes it. Maybe with him on the left, like against Everton, you can just get down, bang, hit it straight in on his favourite foot. Sometimes when you're playing on your weak side, if you're playing against a good defender, he's going to know what you're going to do. And I think on a couple of occasions throughout the season, he's done a bit too much. So maybe play him on his natural side on his left foot. Maybe play Sancho on his natural side on the right side. Give it a test. Give it a try. See how it goes. But it only gives them a lot less time for players to get at him. If you see what I'm trying to say, because they've got more time just to whip the ball in, beat the player, get the ball into the box, and that's what we're seeing now. We're starting to see our wingers finally chipping in with goals because they're not thinking about it. They're just hitting the ball. Neto against Fulham, bang, shot, goal. Sancho cutting in against Brentford. I think it was Brentford. Who did he play at home? Ipswich cut inside.
Ipswich when he come off the
bang.
bench.
So we're starting to see the wingers chipping in. Maybe Maresca's trying in something. Maybe Maresca's doing something different in training and saying, look, you know what, lads, Just have more pops at goal because you will score more. Like I think you said it yesterday, Alex. I think you heard it on your review. If you don't shoot, you don't score, and it was evident to see over the last couple of months that we was doing too much. But all of a sudden now they're chipping in the goals. So whatever Marasca's doing tactically, it's starting to work a bit. So hopefully it continues.
So you think it's a tactical tweak that's made the difference? Because I don't think that we're seeing anything different in terms of the support around the wingers. I think that they're still isolated. They've got to do a lot on their own. I think that there's more movement it's easier when we move the ball quicker. I definitely agree with that. But we're not seeing overlapping fullbacks, for example. So why do you think that their form is changing in that sense when, that they're still having to do an awful lot of work on their own to produce?
Probably just getting more used to it. I think that's what it comes down to. Better understanding of the system, better decision making, better final ball, better result.
What about Tyreek George as well? I mean, what did you make of his performance, Lewis? Starting as a striker for this one, we didn't really have a natural striker in there, but we've said for a while we don't really mind if George is starting ahead of Jackson the way he scored that goal against Fulham.
Yeah, I actually liked his hold up play. Thought he did well to keep play ticking. I didn't really see a lot in terms of shots on goal. There was a good cross across the face of goal that no one was on the end of from him. And yeah, just a good performance. Good performance. I don't think he was bad in possession. I thought he showed good strength on the ball, good passing, good performance. Just another good performance.
And if I was to put this question to you boys, obviously we know that Sanchez is our number one in the league. Generally, he is our number one. I mean, that's the way it seems. Who would you play in the final? Jorgensen or Sanchez?
It'd have to be Jorgensen, wouldn't it?
I'd hope so. I'm not trusting
in all fairness, you have to keep it with most teams now. They'll have a cooked goalkeeper, they'll have the league goalkeeper. So
but if you're telling me that, let's just say Ortega is City's Champions League goalkeeper and they get to a final, you think that they're not going to put Edison in there? I think that's generally what happens. No,
but Champions League, you don't do B team goalkeepers.
Even United, let's just look at Onana, for example. I know he got dropped for one game, but he'll play in the final.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
This is the Europa Conference League. I just feel like in the Champions League, it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? Okay, we're still going to play against
that idiot with a final.
We're still going to play against a strong opponent in Betis, but I think, in fairness, I think it'd be the right thing to start Jorgensen because he's played every game in the Europa Conference League this season, so it'd be unfair just to pick Sanchez over him just because it's the final. And like I said, it's not a Champions League final, isn't it? It'd be a different story then. You'd play your number one in the Champions League final, but with the Conference League, maybe it's his opportunity to start.
What about Nicholas Jackson as well? I mean, 2 goals. His celebration was something. I think it was to do with people talking about him. I don't know what that was. Some sort of message he's sending out. But to be fair, I think they were both cracking goals. And I think the first goal.
You think his first one was a cracking goal?
It was, mate. It was.
No,
it was a cracking. No, it was, mate, because he chased him down, and he was, mate. That was a really good goal, mate. You wouldn't see many other strikers.
I think it was more a defensive and goalkeeper error.
No, it was an error, but he capitalised on it.
Yeah,
capitalised on it.
Yeah.
You've got to give him credit.
Yeah, it was this touch that pulled it away from both of the fucking Djgarden players.
Definitely.
Second goal was brilliant, but mate, he's doing all this talky chat. He scored 2 goals against probably a championship level team. Go and score a goal against Liverpool. Where was the chat when you went 22 hours without a goal? So it's not watching with me, brother. Come on, you scored 3 goals this calendar year. Okay, you've had the injury, but you've been nowhere near standards, bro. 22 hours without a goal. Go and score against Liverpool. Go and have a good end to the season. That's it. But you've got.
We know he's a confidence player, so hopefully that confidence is here for Sunday.
This is what I said yesterday. I said it yesterday. I said we needed to start Jackson. I think he needed goals. against this young guy. Goals are there for him to take because you're playing against a poor team. He's gone and scored 2. Don't know what the celebration is about, but you got Liverpool on Sunday. Go and get the goal them, and maybe you get back into everyone's good books. But I'm sure a lot of his fans ain't gonna get excited about his 2 goals against them yesterday. There was a poor team.
I mean, do you think Djgarden deserve a little bit more credit, Lewis, or are we, we're right to just say that they're a poor team and we should have got the result? Because the atmosphere obviously plays a part in these European games. I'd argue that was one of the better atmospheres we've seen.
We walked through them.
Yeah.
We just walked through them like, like big up. Great thank you for turning up. But that's it. Like we've walked through all of them. The fact that this is a semi-final just says more about the competition as a whole, but I ain't complaining. Easiest trophy we're ever going to see.
Well, you're not wrong. Betis won their match against Fiorentina as well, so we're probably going to end up setting up that match in the final. Do you boys think that we'll be okay against Betis based on what you've seen, or should we be worried about them?
People are worried, but like, I just think within one game we can get them. If everyone's worried about like the likes of Anthony and Hector Bellerin and Isco, Mark Bartra.
I mean, in fairness to Anthony and Isco, they have been pretty good. So, I mean, I can appreciate that that's a genuine threat. The way Betis are playing.
I've seen Anthony enough.
But he's not wearing a United shirt anymore.
Mm.
He's having paella, mate. I don't know what it is about the paella, the Estrella, whatever it is about the Spanish culture. It's bringing out something because when he was in money, he couldn't get anything out of him.
There's another indictment on this competition that one of the key players to be worried about is Anthony.
That is true.
You know what it is?
If we get knocked out by Anthony, we don't deserve this.
They're a form team, aren't they? They're a form team in Spain. I think they're 6th place at the moment. Got experience throughout the squad. Got an experienced winning manager. Got informed players. Players that have already won the cup. Players that have won Champions League. So we cannot take them lightly. But when you think of it on a player-to-player basis, you take 11 over Chelsea players over there, 11 all day, every single day. But at the same time, you cannot underestimate the experience and the players they've got. And they're a form team within the league. 6th place is a good position from the Spanish league. So everything's there for us to win the league, win the game in the final if we do get there. But at the same time, it's not going to be an easy one. So we've got to be confident enough to say we won the trophy, but it's going to be one of them now biting kind of games.
Have you booked your flights, boys?
Nah, not yet.
I won't get a ticket.
Going to go up, man.
I think I'm game just to go there and just be involved with the atmosphere and stuff like that. Are
you going to go, Kev?
I'm game for it. I'm game for it. Yeah. So
you better get your bloody flights booked, mate, because it's going up and up. I paid about $350 return. So yeah, if you want to get there,
don't get there now, bro.
What do you mean?
What if we don't get there now? That's the thing.
Well, I'm in big trouble, aren't I?
You took a gamble there, but yeah. Come on, let's
I'm pretty sure I have travel insurance. Yeah, so I think I can get a refund.
We're in Poland, don't we? And I will definitely, hopefully, be looking to take the trip over there. But yeah, man. Thoughts on Sunday, then, boys? Thoughts on Sunday? What do you think? What do you think?
I'm more on Lewis's side than yours. I think that there is a genuine chance, definitely, because they've already won the league. Yeah, if this was the game to win the league, I think that we'd have no chance. But because they've already done it, that makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, they're still going to be in celebratory modes. We can capitalize on that. We definitely can.
I hope so. Well, obviously, with Forest losing last night as well. So, man, this is it, man. We can, that was the biggest result last night. I wasn't even bothered about Europa Conference League. That Brentford done us a massive favour yesterday. You know,
Now we're in the top 5 as long as we keep doing our job.
Yeah, precisely. And we play them last game of the season. With the game, the way I'm feeling right now, maybe a draw on Sunday. I feel like we'll probably get an L in Newcastle. We'll probably beat United and get a draw in Forest. So 4 points.
Get the points early. That's the way I see it. The earlier, the better. That's
Yeah.
my thought process. Guys, let us know in the comments as well if you agree or disagree with anything we've said. Are you happy with us getting to the conference? Well, of course you're happy. I mean, if you're not happy, maybe you're not a Chelsea fan. But are you convinced with what you saw against Djgarden to see Chelsea coming through? We're pretty much certain that we're going to go to Poland. Obviously, if we don't, then it's embarrassing. And then let us know about your prediction for the top 5 as well, the Liverpool game. And we will catch up very, very soon. All the best, guys. And